Hello, SpeedGaming viewers, and welcome to another match in the Link Fast Randomizer Hybrid Feature Glitches Tournament, or HMG for short. We have our Game 1 of Wulfy versus Osse101 today on Restream for you. Getting deep into this tournament should be good. I'm hoping it's really good. HMG's a lot of fun to watch. I'm Adler. In the booth with me today is Michael K. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. And we also got our tracker, Trapto, with us. I hope he's going to click all the buttons. And as you can see on the tracker, we are starting with boots. Boots are really nice for glitches, and glitches are fun.
Glitches are indeed fun, and we do get to start with the boots because it would be awfully hard to do anything glitch-wise without them. The boots are pretty much the main catalyst for doing all the crazy stuff we do in the overworld, and in HMG's case, a number of underworld clips, which can be done with some ways that don't require boots, but they're harder, and we prefer to have boots. Instant map check looks like we have 3 light world crystals.
And we see a slight divergence here. Also checks the Heidi Island, just bomb from there, and Wulfy just goes straight up to clip over to Hobo with a little clip here. Also doing the same one, just a bit more information because he already knows about the Heidi Island.
Yep, these are Sphere 1 locations in overworld glitches, so it's not uncommon to see runners just knock these out immediately instead of leaving them hanging, because they're kind of naturally isolated because just of where they are. So it's, yeah, looking at Island and checking Hobo right away, just not a bad idea.
Yeah, and we are seeing Wulfy also probably going ahead and checking out Sastra after this Heidi Island check, just because it's somewhat out of the way. Otherwise, it's good to do that one early on. You see also check out the Sanctuary now, and head probably over to either Kakariko or this mountain, who's available from Sanctuary pretty easily.
Yep, so Hosrula is 3 easy checks, and you have boots, so you don't need to worry about finding bombs, so you can literally do this as an opener. He gets his map check as well, confirming we do have 3 light world crystals, no reds or pendants.
Another thing about early boots, and we find the bow in there, Pegasus boots rocks are perfectly easily accessible. And the kind of armor area, not really needed early on, but it can help if there's stuff in Gannon Tower. But as we do find the bow early on, our runners will likely find their way over to Eastern Palace anyway, relatively early.
Yeah, having some Aria knocked out early, really not bad. You don't have to worry about finding that later, and that does open up some routing options. You know, your Ice Palace, if you have to dive in there, is going to be more convenient. You can access all of TR. You know, you can get right side GT. It does give you some options for later.
Wulfy forgot to check out the Bonk Rocks while he was on his way to the Desmond Mountain Ascent Cave. And we do see also after checking out the Lost Woods, also head over into Lumberjack and probably into a DMA of his own.
Yeah, Lumberjack check early on, pretty common because you start with boots, so it kind of gives the logic more opportunities to put key items here, and that's a 10-pack of arrows. Not gonna bother.
Yeah, you really only need a sword and lamp to get into the dungeon, even with boots and glitches, just because there are clips to get bypass the barrier. So we do see 2 completely different ways from Osse and Wulfy to get up on this mountain area. Wulfy gone through the cave, also heading up on Lumberjack, checking to the top area. And we do see Wulfy check out the bomb cave here, Grave Ledge, because it's easily accessible. And also did see something on the Spectacle Rock Cave. I didn't see it.
There's a hammer in here, yeah.
Oh, hammer. That, together with the King of the Maria, is really nice because, what? Basically, we can now do the entire tower. Well, I guess we still would need a fire source for our right side, but...
Yeah, we're very close to having the entirety of GT open already, yeah. So yeah, Wulfy has opted for one of the openers we have to call the Graveyard Rush. It goes straight to Grave Ledge, knocks out that check again. Also Spear 1 checks. It also gets you early bombs. Sometimes finding bombs can just be a pain early in a seed. So by doing so, you can guarantee yourself bombs. It is common to see a lot of these openers happen before Kakariko because you want to potentially improve your trip to Kakariko by perhaps finding a bottle and or powder, which just lets you do more things while you're there. So it's not uncommon in HMG or even OWG just by itself to see CAC put off for a while.
Yeah, and we also see the bombs used for checking out the first few shacks in our Hera, and potentially more. But we do hope that he checks out the hammer first before he goes upstairs and finds out that he could have killed more than while he's there.
This is an interesting Hera because both the keys are on the ground floor, which is not necessarily what you expect in HMG. HMG expects you to be able to clip from Mire to Hera, so those keys can often just be not accessible from the main entrance. So that's kind of cool, actually. We don't have to worry about clipping to Hera.
Yeah, there even is something nice that you can do with that small key if you have it accessible, because usually the game expects you to go from Maya to Hera to Swamp, but if you are able to skip out the Maya part, that's a good bit of trips that you have to do not. And if you can exchange the Hera key with one of Swamp's keys, great.
Yeah, considering Swamp only has one small key, and in HMG, that Swamp Small is not necessarily going to be in the first chest like you expect to see. That Swamp Small can actually be like basically anywhere in the dungeon. So yeah, if you determine you don't need that Hera small key, you could actually just use that in Swamp and make quite a more convenient use out of it.
Yeah, and even if you do, you can just do a secondary trip to Swamp and steal a key from there if you really have to.
Got a sword and Paradox.
And we do see also head over to Eastern Palace. He's doing an Eastern Palace clip. He going to jump off the bottom of the map here over to the front of Eastern Palace and just enters a bit without all the visuals updating. So that's nothing special in overworld glitches. And we do find the Bombos medallion in Paradox Cave as well. How's magic? Yeah. Nice.
Not a bad Paradox. A medallion, half magic, and a sword. Good stuff all around.
Yeah, the medallion starter package.
Osse's going to progress into Eastern. He does have a bow, so I'd imagine that kind of made him say, you know what, we can just go ahead and full clear Eastern. May as well just get it out of the way. And Wulfy's going to
Wulfy forgets again about Bonk Rocks.
He's really got to get that bow from Bonk Rocks at some point.
Well, there's a second one in the game, luckily, so it's not the worst, but it's also going to mean that if Wulfy finds the second bow, also probably is also going to find it, and that's Silver's.
He'll probably remember it at some point. I can't imagine he'll go too long without it.
Well, this is pretty much the last time he's going to spawn at Sanctuary for quite some time until he gets the gloves, and then he's only going to check the back of his cave. And there's really no other point to remembering it other than either seeing it on your tracker or seeing the unopened Bonk Rocks cave on your way to Kakariko or anything out of Sanctuary.
Simultaneous heart piece pickups. Exciting.
Yay, heart pieces.
He's still working on the Eastern Palace. He's going to head back into the dark. Out of logic, but nobody really cares about doing Eastern Palace dark room out of logic. They're going to do it anyway. You can't stop these guys. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, Eastern Palace dark rooms are really its suggestion. They are not really hard. Well, the back is kind of more or less complicated, but the right side dark rooms are pretty simple if you know the layout.
Wulfy showing off also that one bonk rock just outside of the North Kakariko fortune teller has a bomb under it. So if you find yourself short on bombs, because he did do Grave Rush, but he also spent a lot of his bombs on the mountain, just going through Harem Paradox. So coming to Kak with one bomb, is like, you can get a free bomb into this rock and make sure you have two, and that should guarantee you all 10 checks and blinds in the well. And there's a glove.
The glove. Yeah, that bonk rock also was really popular in the OWG tournament last time, because it was a really nice opener to just head there, bonk that rock 2-3 times, and head into Kakariko with enough bombs to do it. But obviously, just doing Graveyard Edge Rush for the bombs in there is much better.
Yeah, being able to guarantee yourself a couple bombs for Kakariko is it's just nice. You don't have to worry about having to drop back into well and or blinds after finding bombs somewhere, having to buy them. So it's very convenient.
He also did find the best boomerang out there.
Osse is just about back to the boss in Eastern Palace here. Wulfy is opening up the chicken hut. Osse having to do with the hammer, but he's okay. I haven't found much else in Kakariko so far. Just that glove as far as really big items. We do need one glove in the game. We don't necessarily need two.
Yeah, but speaking of the hammer, Wulfy did not check Spectacle Rock inside, and if he doesn't do it for Kiki Skip, which he probably doesn't really want to do until he has the hammer, yeah, that might take a while.
It could, yeah. We have a couple items he hasn't picked up yet that we know where they are, so hopefully not waiting too long to find those. And while Osse101 with a nice textbook Armos Knights fight will claim his first crystal.
Yeah, and he's going to check out his Sashra spec, which will item with Samaria. And we do find an ice rod on the race game. We have a little trick to get that a bit early without doing actual race game. So doing the gamble, what it is in standard price of standard seats to not do the race game, really not an issue because we don't do the race game anyway.
Yep, if we see a key item there, we can just teleport up to it with a couple specific little inputs. We can grab that item and not get stuck in the wall if you do it right. And then we can just hop off and go down into Desert Palace here.
Yeah, that is one of those very few, very specific clips. Most clips are really just standard, and once you know the basics of clipping, you can do 99% of glitches without any further practice.
Yeah, OWG it can definitely look intimidating, and there's certainly some stuff to learn, but a lot of it is, like Michael K said, just learning how to do the clips, learning how to do the inputs to accomplish your teleports is a majority of it, and then the rest of it is just learning like where you can do things, because there are a lot of options around the world.
Yeah, we do have a really nice map made by Malmo, who's also the tournament admin for this tournament, which has all the information about basically 99% of all the clips around the world. We do see also here actually going to finish up Tower of Hera because he can.
Yep, he's got a hammer. That's plenty enough to take down Moldworm. And Wolf finds a Moon Pearl in the Desert Big Chest. Okay. Not a terrible location. That'll be easily picked up on kind of the standard kind of route where you go south through Kakariko and the desert. So not really out of the way.
Yeah, desert is standard location to either check before or after Kakariko. 99% of the time after Kakariko, but there are a few routes that you could technically do to do it before. And Wulfy deciding to delay the boss of Desert Oh, doesn't have fire source, obviously.
Yeah, we'll have to need a fire. We'll need lamp or fire rod to get back to it. And I think we found both items in desert. I think.
I think too.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's a 300. We'll take that. That puts you really close to Zora money in case you need to check him. Osse101 is now showing us that the clouds in the light world are actually just made of water, as clouds are.
Yeah.
You know, they're just water.
Very, very realistic game.
The clouds in the dark world, however, are solid. You cannot walk through them like you can in the light world.
Yeah, you can't walk through the darkness. Everyone knows that.
We'll be continuing on the route here. Pretty typical. You check K45, and then if you have the book, you can take a peek at Bombo's tablet, and then you tend to end up here at Agina. Save and quit out of here. We'll probably do South Shore next. Pretty standard routing for OWG.
This is a really nice route, especially with having the glove and being able to do the Shadowward cave right already here. Not always the case, but you can. Great.
All right, Wulfy's starting at Sank. Let's see if he checks Bonk Rocks. Probably not. He's going to back of his cave.
Yeah. He really, really will take a long time before he sees the Bonk Rocks, if you ever will need to go to them.
Yeah, we hope for his sake that he does remember to check it, or that if he doesn't remember it, that he finds either bow somewhere, because that would be pretty silly to leave a sphere 1 bow and be stuck by that.
Yeah, and we also do hope that he will remember to check the Spectacle Rock Cave before he goes for Kiki Skip.
All right, they've both finished up what they're doing. They're going to both head down to Swamp area, check out the dam, probably head over to Mini Moldorm Cave and all that good stuff. So we're going to be mostly synchronized for a little bit here.
Yeah, that's actually nice that we see our two routes somewhat converging. Obviously, Osse did already use his a few bit more lucky routing decisions to finish up Eastern and Tower of Hera, but Wulfy therefore has already finished up Desert Item Shakes and Kakariko. Also Aborted. Aborted in this mode is quite a bit less useful than in No Logic, but still there are a few YBAs you can use to get into the Smith chain a bit trickier. You can use fake dudes in the dark world to get around, and yeah. There are also a few item flukes that you can do with a bottle, but that's less of useful because you can only do them on the overworld.
Maybe more Cave having a whole lot of nothing here. But yeah, that one bottle will be nice for fake flutes, which is a great way to get around the world when you don't have a flute, and it even works in the dark world. If you ever want to flute in the dark world and you're not inverted, just use a blue potion the same frame you make an overworld transition. There's your flute.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that bottle is also nice for Wulfy because it's another reminder to go back to Kakariko, which might be nice for him to check out Bonk Rocks.
Yeah,
maybe.
Hopefully. On Osse's side, it's convenient for him because he hasn't even done the Kakariko cleanup yet. So that'll be one more thing he can do while he's there. And we got blue armor and Ice Rod Cave. So for other convenience here, in Wulfy's sake, he has enough for Zora. So he's going to be able to do the water walk and do all these checks at once, whereas Osse does not have quite enough yet. So he may have to, unless he gets lucky in Waterfall Cave, he'll have to miss out on checking what Zora has.
Yeah, one could go for killing off a few Zoras, but unless it's specifically the money item pool, that's not going to be effective.
And a fire rod in Waterfall Cave.
And money.
There's the 50.
That's also
okay.
Money.
He got bailed out by Waterfall Cave.
And we do see him check out the ferry, which is another bee.
freebies.
But it's a golden one. And with the stopping, canceling the dash, you can actually dash through this without having to stop at all up to the door area here. And it works out. And 10% return on investment for Zora.
Pretty typical Zora having just a life lesson for us today. Don't give a big fish your money.
Also deciding to go ahead and probably start that sanctuary for his Kakariko cleanup.
Yep, now's a perfect time for Osse to go to CAC, and Wulfy is gonna have a little bit of indecision. I think he was trying to do King's Tomb and didn't get the input for it.
Yeah, I think he got stuck on the descent towards the upper graveyard ledge, and
That's the wrong transition, Wulfy.
yeah, that's a very, very wrong transition. But yeah, we did just now see one of the dangers of this mode, a hard lock. If you do hard lock, you have to reset, and if you haven't saved in any recent time, that's really, really bad. And now we are on the correct transition.
Yes, what he's doing is he's doing a spin speed clip where you arm spin speed, but you don't activate it. And that lets you kind of clip through those angles like that. And then you can, once you're down here, you go tap up one pixel, dash to the right, you land on top of that rock, and you notice that it's a black rock, and he only has one glove. But as long as you're on top of that rock, the game says it's a bush, so you can just lift it up, even without a glove.
Yeah, the game really gets confused about what it's looking at when you want to grab it. It's looking at the grass when checking and grabbing the stone in the end. And Kan's probably going to hate me for that really, really basic explanation.
Yeah, you drop onto that. There's a specific inputs you got to do to actually get your position right, but just like an up, left, down little sequence of taps, and you'll be in the right position to lift that, and you can do King's Tomb. Another Sphere 1 check. Sphere 1 in OWG is pretty big. There's a lot of the overworld that's just like in your initial sphere. Now we're getting some underworld clipping. Wulfy is put a bomb in a specific spot and then dash into the slope, and it's clipped him south, and he's done a transition, and he is in... Oh, he's in Dark Sewers. I have not seen this clip actually.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty nice clip. It lets you, if you want, check out the back of escape with just the hero small key, and if you know there's a small key in the back, you are going to get it back.
He's taking a death warp to get back to Hera, because so in terms of where you go with underworld clips, when you move between dungeons without using like the main entrance of a dungeon, like using Hyrule Castle, but he was still in the Hera dungeon state because he did not use one of Hyrule Castle's entrances. So mirroring or death warping from there will, as you saw, still put him back at the Hera entrance. And that is crucial for some of our later routing options that might come up. The game expects you to be able to clip from Mire to Hera and Hera to Swamp in terms of your transitioning between dungeons. So we may very well see some shenanigans later with opening chests in dungeons in different states, particularly doors, actually. There's another clip that we'll probably see called the Kiki Skip, which involves clipping into pod with a cave state. From the Speck Rock Cave, and then we'll talk about that later if it probably comes up.
Yeah, Kiki Skip is really nice for routing Palace of Darkness because it allows us to skip the first key door every time. So we don't necessarily need to hope for a key in the first chest.
Yep, we'll never have to worry about a bow-locked pod with the tricks at our disposal here. Wulfy takes a drop to Moldorm.
And we do still hope that Wulfy checks out Kiki Skip after this, even if he doesn't yet have the bow. Finding the hammer now is better than finding the bow. The hammer is the last possible location.
Yeah, yeah. That hammer is kind of a big item still. There's a lot we can do with it. A lot it's required of it, and hopefully he picks it up. I mean, ideally he checks this right after Hera here. We'll see what he does, but hopefully.
Yeah. It does make sense to check it, but maybe he forgets, or maybe he decides that he still wants to wait with Kiki's script till he has bow and hammer to actually clear out pot.
And it looks like, yep, he's gonna look at the look
Yeah.
at the top. He'll go inside, and we'll be okay. He'll have his hammer. Good deal.
Yeah. Yay! What are you doing, Wulfy?
What is? Curious what he's up to here. Is there a clip to get up there faster? Oh, look at that!
No.
There is. Okay, I've never seen that one. That's
Good.
cool.
I actually never seen that one either. So good. So yeah, he just transitioned down the screen, and it just happens that the top bottom of the screen leads to the top of the lower section, and it worked out. And he didn't check out Kiki Skip, which I mean is fine considering that there is a bow in Boncrox if he ever gets there.
Yeah, I think if he had the bow, that probably would have been a perfect time to go straight to pod. But he's
Yeah.
he's still lacking that.
But we are now in the dark web for the first time. Green at pod, red at Ice Palace, and didn't cut
The pendants.
anything else.
Yeah, the pendants were at Thieves and Skull for the other two.
Yeah, and while we do want to mark down the red crystals, they are much less important in this than they are in normal modes, because once we find the mirror, those red crystals basically are just fancy normal crystals.
Yep, as long as the mirror pops up somewhere, we have an easy way to get into Pyramid Fairy. We'll talk about that later if it comes up. But yeah, suffice to say, those red crystals don't matter that much to us. Well, Osse101 taking down the Lambo fight with ease. He's got both the rods. We all know the Lambos take 2 rod shots from either of them. He's got 3 crystals already. The Light World dungeons are all cleaned up.
And yes, Human in chat pointing out that pendants, Seastown, Skullwoods are really, this is fine because Skullwoods and Seastown are really easy to reach dungeons. So you usually want them to be crysted.
Yeah, you wanna be required to clean those dungeons up. So having both of the dungeons in the West Dark World here be pendants, it kind of sucks. Also, green pendant pod. So the rule is we have like 17 progression items over there. So we'll see how long it takes them to go there.
Yeah. But another thing is, we do have access to Ganon's Tower, and we don't have a hook shot, but Osse can technically fulfill it, ignoring hookshot requirements, and Wulfy can clear the entire basement out if he wants to. Bombers for Maya.
That is the medallion we have, conveniently.
Yay! Paradox Cave was a Maya starting set.
Second sword in Meyer Shed, nice to see.
And we do see Osse head over into Darkworld himself.
He's going to go ahead and open up Meyer. We do have Samaria, so we could just finish the dungeon if we so desired here.
And the red crystals are in Turtle Rock and Ice Palace. Like we said, as long as we do find the mirror and the mirror is not locked up in the Pyramid Fairy, we can get there without the red crystals, but it comes up every now and then.
Yeah, so interesting that like noting that, because if the mirror was in Pyramid Fair and this seed, it'd be especially annoying because the mirror actually grants us a couple for accessing both of those dungeons that are red crystals, ice and TR. Like the mirror actually gets us into those dungeons. There are mirror wraps for both of those, so it's gonna be especially irritating if like the mirror happens to pop up in Pyramid Fairy in this one.
Yeah, but it would not necessarily be required because Swamp Palace may be a crystal, but there are ways to, in logic, beat Swamp Palace without the mirror.
Oh yeah, and also the because we can get the swamp from Hera, and also the mirror wraps that I mentioned are not required by OWG's logic by any means. They are options for getting in, but there are other logical ways to get into. Not Laser Bridge in particular. So the mirror wrap in TRs goes to Laser Bridge, which none of those accesses are logical. And there is a logical method to access Ice Palace with just flippers. So we don't necessarily. That's another thing. We don't necessarily need 2 gloves to get in Ice Palace. There are other ways we can do it. We just need 1 to complete the dungeon. Is all. We found a convenient lamp also in Mire, so no having to worry about Dark Mire, which can be one of the worst dark rooms in the game.
Mire is not really a hard dark room. It's just an annoying dark room if you mess it up.
Yeah, if you don't have a perfect setup for it, you execute it a little bit wrongly, your positioning can be off, and you gotta figure out where you are in the darkness. And the room is awful because if you don't know exactly where you are, you're fumbling around and the statues are all shooting at you at the time. It's just obnoxious.
Yeah, there's a consistent setup to get the block onto the switch if you mess it up, but the statues are still shooting at you the entire time, and that's really annoying.
Yeah, you have to be constantly dodging the shots. So you can't take your time and line up exactly where you need to be without having to just scooting around to not get hit all the time. It's a terrible room, but we got the lamp, so we're okay. So both our runners have once again converged. Well, they're both in Mire, which again, you're doing your Dark World route. You pop into the Mire area, see that it's Bombo, so you have the stuff for it. You may as well clear the dungeon.
We see Wulfy. Nope, we do not see Wulfy set up for the block void, which would be one of the 2 ways to set up the altitude value for Spooky Maya. It's a different altitude value than you do for the NMG setup, but it's one that still works, very similar, and would still be very useful in skipping some stuff.
Yeah, the alternate or backup spooky, some people will call it. You have to avoid a block, and then in the second room here, it's only really useful for the second switch. And the setup to do it, you basically have to go to nearly the bottom of the room and do a item dash with a fire rod, where you shoot left to hit the anti-fairy, and then dash upward to actually load the crystal switch. Because if you don't move upward far enough, the shot just won't even hit the switch. So it's a bit trickier to pull off. But yeah, in certain modes where you don't necessarily have the opportunity to set up the altitude spooky on the portal outside, it can be a useful backup. Wulfy has just done it normal. He is into the victorious fight. This fight's a bit tricky. He doesn't have a bow, and he's just got Master Sword. I don't think he has any healing capability, so he's going to be a little bit careful here.
Yeah, neither of the runners does have a way to either defend themselves from any damage or to heal anything. So they do want to be reasonably careful to avoid damage.
It is fortunate that
especially with Master Sword.
Yeah, it's fortunate that they've acquired the blue mail, so they won't take as much damage if they do get hit here. But it's still a very, very patient fight. Wulfy's doing a good job so far. He's just kind of grinding it out, taking his time. Opting to get some hammer hits in when he can for the additional damage.
Yeah, the hammer, if he can manage to pull it off, is actually the best weapon that he has right now for the actual Vitreous Eye, because the Master Sword takes a bit of time to charge, even if it does the same damage. So if you can set it up reasonably well, the hammer is better than the Master Sword spins, technically. But So I really tries to get out of the lock if go for hammer springs.
Yeah. The small eyes are terrible because you can hit them with the hammer and they don't really recoil that much. They just kind of keep moving in the direction they were going. And the big eye is tough because it's the way it bounces. It's also tough to keep it away from you. But Wulfy makes it look easy. He had a really good rhythm with the hammer there. Just kind of pulled it off. And he's got his Mire Crystal now.
Yeah.
Osse's not far behind him. Going to be entering the fight here, and he's got a bow with a full stock of arrows. So he does have that option of using arrows in this fight if he needs to. And he's going to do some NMG strats here. You usually have Tempered Sword for this. You're not getting it. Oh, he has the double heart beeps. Oh no, Osse, why?
He does a really good job of actually beating the small eyes using the NMG strat. Even with Master Sword, he also used his bow to do a few extra hits on the last few eyes that do a lot of damage, which really nice strat. And it does work out, but we are now on our way to the big key chest here. I don't think we need the big key chest itself, but we are still going to activate the flames here because we want to move the wall.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we found both of our items in Mire, so there are reasons to do this room, though, however, even if we're not opening the big key chest, yeah. And Osse decided to save and quit, so we now are diverging, and we'll have to see where he goes next. But yeah, if you're looking for another interesting underworld clip here, pay attention to what Wulfy's about to do. No? Maybe he's checking it. Oh, he's checking it. Okay. Color me. I stand corrected.
Yeah.
It's a hard piece.
Okay. Was nothing. But he's also still moving in this dungeon, so he will still do the clip just a moment later. And yes, he did need the wall to be moved for the clip that is coming up, because if he doesn't do the wall moving thing, the walls actually have, for some reason, better collision that prevent us from doing bomb clips. It's similar to the moving walls preventing the second mimic room in Pillars of Darkness from mimic clips. But yeah.
Ooh, that's unfortunate miss because it drops you down here and you got to make the loop again. Oof. He was a little bit off on his timing there. I think he had the positioning right, but he wasn't off. He was off on his timing, so he didn't get hit by the explosion properly.
He seemed to be just a moment too early, almost dashing into the wall, canceling the dash, and then bomb recoiling into the hole, which really unfortunate.
Yep, you'll have to make the loop here and try it again. Yeah, what he's trying to do here is get into Swamp Palace next. Meanwhile, Osse has decided he's going to go to GT. We saw him just do a pretty standard clip we just call the GT clip. You just get to the Dark World portal and then you do very similar to the Hera clip. The positioning slightly different. We found our second glove in the compass room in GT, so that's cool.
And yes, all of these things here are in logic because we do have all the items for inside of GT in logic. And the outside of GT we really don't care about.
Oh, he's going to Hera. Okay, I thought he was going to go straight to Swamp, but he's going to get Hera basement while he's here and still take advantage of. So what that door he unlocked used a Mire small key to open a locked door in Hera, and he's doing that. Kind of there's some key manipulation to do because those three dungeons are connected in a way in terms of being able to clip between them, so you can use keys in different dungeons as long as you know what you're doing. You do it right, you can gain some advantages from that.
Yeah, he's using the Mire small key now in Hera so that he can keep the Hera small key for Swamp. He already has the Hera small key, so he knows this is actually not a small key inside here, and he's actually going to get something out of it. And yeah, he will then later on be able to do the swamp section a bit simpler. But it's not an item, so also if he ignores the Hera basement altogether, we'll be able to do the exact same thing, just skipping out the Maya section. And speaking of Osse, a great Ice Amos fight.
Not a whole lot behind Ice Armos. And Aussie is done with GT for now.
He only did right side, right?
Yeah, he only went to the right. Aussie does have the option of going. You can definitely do some of the left side. With bonks and bomb jumps, you can actually get to all the left side checks despite not having hook shot. It looks like he's decided that he's just gonna put that off for later.
And Wulfy also is heading into GT. He did reset his camera. You don't necessarily need to reset the camera, but it can be certainly easier to do that if you are not overly familiar with the layout of the mountain.
Looks like Aussie's going for Ice Palace. Oh, there's our torch big key. Okay. Yep, Aussie's going to take his second glove and just say, you know what? I'm going to use that to get in the Ice Palace easier than usual. So there we go.
Yeah, second glove is a really nice decoration, and it does work. And we do not see a first room clip. He also does want to get the item in the Pengator chest, but it can be useful to do that first room clip to get the switch state while you are on the way to the Pengator chest.
Yeah, if you did a lobby clip, the Pengator chest is a bit more obnoxious to reach because of where it is. But yep, I mean, you find 300 rupees for it, so that's nice in case you want to buy any blue potions later potentially. But
yeah, I doubt we are going to use much more money.
Yeah, probably not.
Both these days are pretty good on the execution, as far as I know, so yeah. Maybe they are going to get a blue just for safety, but I don't think they will really need it.
And Aussie, of course, does have Samaria, as they both do, so we will get to see an icebreaker here. Makes the dungeon nice and easy fast and easy compared to even the bomb jump route. Oh, there's our second bow. All right, so
okay.
that could bail out Wulfy. If he never checks bonk rocks, he's at least going to get one bow, because I find it hard to believe that he won't get that chest going through Ice Palace, unless he's in true go mode. But I mean, like, without a bow, he's not going to be in true go mode. So he's almost 100% getting that one.
Even in true go mode, you still check that chest because you have to do Ice Palace anyway, and you're going to do Icebreaker. You are going to do Icebreaker because it's so much faster.
Exactly. You walk right by that chest. It's hard. He's getting that one. Man, we're gonna have fun goofing them later if we tell them, like, you know where that second bow was? You know, Bonk Rocks. You walked past it a few times, didn't check it.
Yeah. But yeah, this is definitely nice, and we do find an inferior boomerang in Ice Palace.
The sparkly red boomerang, and that's all 3 items in Ice Palace. So Aussie is going to go down to fight the Cold Stare. Wulfy's working on GT, kind of just cleaning up these checks we've already seen from Aussie's side.
Yeah, it's going to be somewhat interesting if he decides to head into the left side after this, but he definitely does not have to do it.
Finds the book in Bob's chest.
And that was some really nice codes there for Fire Rod.
Yeah, those are some really good splashes that worked out very well for him, despite only coming in with about a third of a magic meter after breaking the ice or melting it. And
now Wulfy has a small little issue. He has Master Sword against Amos.
And no bows.
Slashes do the least amount of damage right now that he can do outside of using the boomerang.
Yep. If you ever look at the damage class guide for this, you'll notice that the Master Sword does like Michael K said, it does the least damage on this. You want to do pokes or spins with Master Sword, because it will take literally twice as long if you do slashes.
Yeah. It would take even longer if you use the boomerang, but I did see a few people use boomerang, and somehow every time I did see people use boomerang, they ended up still getting the quickest somehow.
The nice thing about this is once you're down to the last one, it's in its enrage phase. You can literally just hold your sword out and just let it jump onto it, and that gets you free hits. So dealing with the last one, not too bad. And Wulfy is taking care of that without a bow, and he's going to get a whole lot of nothing for his troubles. Osse meanwhile checked Ether Tablet and found another 300 rupees.
And Wulfy decides to keep going, so we will see what is on that left side of Ganon's tower. No hookshot still, but we could still find flippers, mirror here, technically flute or something similar, but I think we only really need flippers and mirrors still. And mirror is only useful, not necessary.
Yep, so we are going to see, so this room up here, the Stalfos room is out of logic for left side G2 with the hook shot. Osse meanwhile finds a bug net and powder in Super Bunny. Wulfy finds a mushroom.
That's very similarly useful.
So there is one logical check on the left side when you only have just boots, not hook shot, and that is the map chest, the double firebar room. Everything else you can do here, you can get to these with bonks and bomb jumps, but they are locked logically by the hook shot.
And Osse is going to do something.
Oh, he might. He's gonna try the hover. Oh, give it one shot. Says no. All right, that's
yeah,
pretty typical. From
yeah. You don't want to waste all your time in that area, but you also at least want to give it a try if you can do it, because if you can do it into one trip instead of 3, yeah, that's useful.
Some runners who are just kind of like, they're okay at hovering, but not like expert hoverers. They'll give it one shot to see if they're kind of like on their game for hovering in a race, and then if they fail, they'll just bail out. And we did see Osse give us a look at our TR medallion, which is our Quake. Probably not a big deal, because as you see, he immediately shows us that we can get into through the middle. So there's a very simple spin speed clip that gets you to the middle ledge. This is in logic. OWG expects you to be able to do this. So it's very rare to see the medallion actually used to open TR.
Oh, he opens up the this door, and that might trigger him over, and he's bailed out.
Okay, he got a small key. We're fine. So Osse was about to perhaps, depending on where the keys lay it out, Osse could have showed us a situation in which you have to open the TR medallion door.
Yeah, but you can still manage to get out of that, even without the mirror, by doing a certain clip that is really stupid that gets you to Data Bridge without the mirror.
I like mirrorless
like I said,
bridge.
Yeah, it's really stupid, but it's really nice. And then you do boots test.
And then you get bitten by the chain chomp. You're at 2 hearts, and you got the double beeps going on. Osse, please.
Wulfy did save and quit before this, so
I think so. Yeah, he's gonna check this mushroom.
He might reset after this. I'm actually surprised that he did not check out Magic Bat right before this, just in case.
Oh no, he's gonna keep it. Okay.
Not resetting, but he's going to fill up on magic and a blue potion. And
as we stated earlier, that blue potion could end up being used in for a flute instead of actually for its normal use. We'll see. In either case, he has it, and if he ends up needing it to heal, like, that's cool too. Looks like he's gonna head for he's probably going for ice as well. Yeah, doing a pretty typical
Ancilla, Ancilla Splash Delete, and it works out great. It's a pretty simple setup. You just want to have so much stuff on the screen that the splash just can't spawn. So, and the splash is what really hurts you, or generally puts you back on land.
He shows us the ice clip.
Yeah, and this is really nice because it allows you to hit the switch while you're on the way here, and that kind of helps out in the further routing depending on how far you want to go in here. Obviously, we still have to go back for the Pengator chest because we want it, but we don't have to care what this switches after this point.
No, and we'd also Ossie meanwhile finds another fetch quest item, a shovel in the crystal roller room. So we have one more overworld check that's been opened up. He will progress through TR like normal here. Again, there are a couple different ways to get to Laser Bridge or out of logic. One with the mirror, one without the mirror. But since he's already in the dungeon in the middle, he can just do it like normal. Now Wulfy has his bow from the icebreaker chest, so he got bailed out by that. Good news for him. Still waiting to see if our green pennant pod becomes necessary here.
Yeah, I'm going to assume that there's something that we need to get in pod, but it's just so easy to reach. It's so unlikely that there's nothing in there.
Yeah, because right now we're looking at, it looks like all we're going to need to complete the seed is hookshot and flippers.
Yeah, and both of these items can be basically anywhere that is not hookshot though. Even within most of Swamp could be the flippers because or no, it actually can't because logic doesn't allow for that part. It requires the flipper spot before opening any chests in there.
Yeah, because it wants you to open those chests in the Swamp Palace state. Of course. Meanwhile, Osse is doing a bit of a tricky Trinex fight, having to deal with Master Sword and Hammer, but he's making it look relatively easy. And Wulfy's dropping in a cold stare, opting to use the Bombus Medallion to save on some magic so he can get more fire rod shots.
And a really nice Trinex fight from Osse, and a pretty good going cold step fight from Wulfy.
So Osse has 6 crystals already. At this point, we literally just need the items to complete Swamp, and that's it. And now you're down to a lot of your overworld is well, some of the overworld's clean. There's still a good number of overworld checks too. Osse has this is kind of the tough point for Osse. Like, where do you go next? Because you have pendant dungeons.
I'd say it's time for Hyrule Castle.
Yeah, we haven't seen the front of castle. We haven't seen any of those pendant dungeons. He has the second glove, so Smith chains in logic. Now it's kind of like, where do you go? Because you have a lot of things.
You have 2 red crystals.
You also can check Pyramid Berry. Yeah.
Logic. Imagine we are finding the mirror on Argos or something.
That would be rude.
Obviously, with flippers in Pyramid.
Yes. Because why not have the seed be really mean at this point? It's honestly been pretty nice so far. Like, they've come across a lot of their items without really having to go anywhere crazy for them. Like I said, we haven't really touched any of those pendant dungeons yet, just because we've had all these crystals that have been available. So, do a little bit of cleanup here now. Osse's getting into checks that Wulfy's seen. Wulfy's doing a dungeon that Osse's already completed. And we're just shy of the 1 hour mark. So I guess while we're watching these 2 retrace their steps, do feel free to give them both a follow if you like what you see here. This HMG tournament is in full swing. We got a bunch of runners that are still in it. Got several more weeks to go. We've got SpeedGaming hosting a lot of these races. Honestly, like, it's been really fantastic seeing so many of these races get restreamed on SpeedGaming. Check out speedgaming.org/schedule, or just !schedule in chat if you want to see if there are more races coming up. If you're interested in HMG, we have a glitched Race's Discord if you're interested in learning more about what's going on with this. It's a glitch ALTTP is a lot of fun, and it's really not that hard to get into.
Yeah, and even if you're just on the normal tournament, normal Link Super server, we do have a lot of edits and resources pinned on there, and just go ahead and check it out. Like we said earlier, 99% of stuff is really learn 3 tricks and you're good, and the other 1% is things that you really don't need, and you can just ignore until you want to go faster.
Yep, there are a ton of like obscure niche clips around the overworld stuff that you almost never see, but if you're aware of them, you can apply them to a seed every so often to get just like another routing option. Oassi's going for all right. So here's our here's what we call our Kiki skip, which is our cave state clip into pod. You actually do the Kiki yeet, as it is affectionately known, which is technically like a bungled Hera clip, but you use that specifically to get to the ledge a little bit faster. You're doing our bomb clip here in the cave. Ooh, didn't quite. Oh, no, he got it. So now we're in pod, but again, we're in cave state. Let's talk about cave state really quick. He has 255 keys because he is not in a dungeon. So when he opens his front door, his key counter will reduce by 1 to 254, which does not look correct. Don't worry about it. We're going to leave pod and re-enter and basically have saved ourselves a key. And that makes routing pod just better.
Yeah, cutting out a key out of a 6-key dungeon, really helpful.
Yeah, especially in pod, because you will run into those seeds where we don't have to worry about. We don't have a bow, but you can save yourself from a bow locked pod and having to like potion unlock the right side or something. Because you know how this first check can be. Despite the fact that we use that key like that, pod's key layouts logic is unchanged in HMG, so you'll still have at least 4 keys in the front 6 checks. And there we go. It's a full heart in the shooter room, so showing off just that advantage right away.
And another important thing is, Osse was in that room where he entered the dungeon already before when he entered the dungeon, but he did not open the chest. The reason is that if you would find any of the Palace of Darkness keys, that would be lost. And if it's a small key, you would have to get back into cave state to replace that key. And if it would be the big key, that would be even worse, because now you would have to reset, because otherwise you do not want to do the tricks that you need to do to replace that big key.
Yeah, that big key goes away, period. Like if you open it in cave state. There's our 3rd sword in the pod big key chest. That's nice, actually. He knows where all 4 of the keys in the front are, so he can use that information. Because again, pod key logic, there are at least 4 keys in the front. We found 2 items, so he can use that and know that there are 2 small keys on the right side here, and go grab those. But yeah, don't open chests if you're not in the correct dungeon state, because you can break your seed. Wulfy got the 2nd bow! Yay!
Yay! I'm sure that he right now probably gives himself a faith bond or something like that, because
yeah,
he could have had Eastern Palace and everything like that much earlier.
Mm-hmm. It's not like he's been out of stuff to do, because like an early bow like that didn't really lead to anything critical, so he's still had plenty going on. I wouldn't say he really lost like a lot of time at all because of that.
Yeah, it was just a better routing thing, and we did see also use a little trick with the Mario block to get through some packs. He did the stair launch, very special trick that I actually never got around to learn, because it's just one of those minor time saves that I really don't need to know, mostly.
There's our red armor in the pod rupee basement. Looking pretty healthy. 13 hearts red. Really quite a safe equipment loadout.
Yeah, this really looks like a really safety-oriented NMG run.
Yeah, we got 13 hearts red, silvers, tempered swords good. We're pretty loaded here. We got our next item there. I already forgot what it was, but I know it was an item. We're gonna head into Dark Maze. No, the big key. Big key was there. That's right, because he found 6 small keys, so he knew to check whatever that Hellway, harmless Hellway. And Wulfy has bonked one chest and hookshot, found a 10 arrow pack, and said, I'm not even going to try hovering. He's going to go check out Super Bunny.
Yeah, you'd usually want to check out Super Money first, because if it ends up that there is a hookshot inside here, that's suddenly a second trip back into Hookshot Cave. But today we just have Net and the powder in here. Neither of them are a hookshot. Well, maybe the powder gets into a hookshot, but we haven't yet checked that, I think.
So Osse, I'm not sure if he found every item in pod. One or zero items remaining in pod. He has decided not to go kill Green Pendant Helmasaur. Is going to take that gamble that Green Pendant Helma has nothing for it, and is going to go elsewhere.
So now...
Oh, Wulfy's doing mirrorless.
Wulfy doing
mirrorless laser bridge. Here we go.
Laser bridge. This trick is somewhat complicated. There are quite a few setups, but the setups that Wulfy is doing right now, you do want to use spin speed before you get to that corner. And if you do that and you mess up, it's bad, because you can jump off into the liner. But
I think he's got it.
Yeah, we got
That's
it.
good. He's in laser bridge. Yep. So again, this is out of logic, but we're going to do it anyway because that gets us to laser bridge pretty easily, and then we can do the entire dungeon in reverse.
Yeah, this is one of those things that is really far out of logic.
And while Osse has given us now, finally, at an hour in, our first dip into Village of Outcasts. Again, we've been disincentivized to go here the entire game because of the fact that there are two pendant dungeons here, and we've had all these crystals to do, but now we're down to, like, where are our items for Swamp? We need those, so we're going to start checking places.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that we are going to see at least dips into boost pendant dungeons if we are still searching the items after Village of the Outcast, and I wouldn't be surprised if either of them has at least one of them.
Yeah.
But obviously, we can also still think about some really bad locations, like Pedestal and Permanent Ferry, just in case people are interested.
Osse's found our last sword in Brewery, so we have all four of them available.
Yeah. Spot damage won't be an issue. We also boost have silver arrows, so... And I'd assume that Wulfy also is going to find the red armor if he goes and decides to check out Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, we'll have to see where he goes after taking care of TR here. There's a lot of options, and just a matter of what race decision you decide to make. Green Pendant Pod, though, very sound option because there are 5 items in that dungeon. With the added value of the Green Pendant makes it 6, so it's a very easy decision to make, honestly, if you ask me.
Yeah. But of course, Seastone and Skyward Boots are quick dungeons for a few items, plus overworld around them. So neither of them is a bad decision.
I think Osse found 0 items in Thieves Front because we got the small key. I see that. I'm pretty sure he got the map, and you had to find the big key. And I saw those. I think we have all 4 dungeon items in the front of Thieves, which sucks when you're just looking for items. So we're going to see a full clear of this dungeon probably.
Did ask if Pat is dead, and no, neither the hookshot nor the flippers, which are our last 2 needed items for Swamp Palace, are needed for any of the pendant dungeons, and we do have access to beat every pendant dungeon. So make of that whatever you want. Yep,
Thieves, Skull, and Pod are all of our pendants, and I can't think. I'm pretty sure all the items we have are in logic, so it's Ped is very much not dead. We'll have to see if HMG gives us another juicy Ped seed. It's starting to become, I mean, as the seed progresses, it'll become more and more likely, and we're just looking for 2 items in particular still.
Yeah, it's really funny how 2 items are exactly for 1 dungeon. Well, I guess Gen's Tower as well, but whatever.
Yeah, and it's a dungeon that you like to do because it's Swamp Palace. It has 6 items in it. You really want to do it earlier than this, because it's just got a lot of stuff in it. But like, you're very much not incentivized to go to swamp because you're missing those 2 items. You don't want to make a dip and find out there's nothing in there and waste a bunch of time. So I mean, I don't blame either of these guys for putting it off.
You want to have at least the flippers so it's in logic. Silkshot might be inside, but the flippers definitely are not. And why? Hey, we have the flippers. Yeah. So, and why still searching for flippers? Why go to a place where only one of 2 items can be instead of where both items could be?
Exactly. Oh, they're both in Thief's Town. Let's go.
We have go mode.
Wait, Osse is like, wait a second, that's the hook shot. Thinking. I'm in go mode. All right.
Wow. Okay, Wulfy, please, after this, do not think about Palace of Darkness. Straight up, think about Thief's Town.
It's so hard to not think about Green Pendant Pod, though. It's so hard. You're drawn to that because it's such density. I mean, Thieves is the play, though. Yep. All right, so Osse does not have the mirror, but we can still get into Swamp Palace and have it be flooded. So what he's doing specifically here is he's going to flood the dam, save and quit from here, because if you don't make an overworld transition, I forget specifically the transition, but suffice to say that save and quit from here preserves the flooded state, and then he's going to be able to get into Swamp and have it still be flooded.
Yeah, and Osse did not use the Hera small key, so he can skip out on the go from Maya just by, using the small key that he finds in Hera.
Yeah, preserving that Hera small that you can see he still has just by opening the small key door here is going to really work out. Oh, wait, no, Wulfy did
that. Wulfy preserved it by going from Maya into this. And Osse did not go from Maya, and he now really has to be careful about not hitting this door.
Do not touch that door. I mean, it's good that he's coming just off a save and quit, so he can reset if he has to, but like, don't touch that door.
Yeah, you see how he always goes straight up next to the pod instead of using any of the other stuff?
He's gonna back up.
He's now going for a bomb version, which is perfectly fine.
A little pause buffering, trying to line it up perfectly. Needs 1 pixel. 1 pixel. Come on. There you go. I think that's right. Cool. Yep, so Osse's going to take that Hera small key, use it in Swamp, and just power through the dungeon.
Yeah. Wulfy, meanwhile, is at least close to Thief's Town. He's shaking out the magic bat, which is really close to Thief's Town, so hopefully he thinks about that as next thing instead of thinking about dungeons that are on the other side of the map. But realistically, Osse is definitely winning right now. Wulfy still has to return to Desert Palace after Swamp Palace, and he still has to find the items in Thief's Town. Both of these things do take time, but yeah. We do see Osse quickly grab the small key here.
Yep.
With dive down.
The diver down setup works just fine in the first trench here. It's the exact same terrain as in left side, so it works just fine.
Yeah. And
so what he needs to do here actually is go leave Swamp and re-enter the front. And again, because of the setup he did with the save and quit to preserve the flooded state, you're going to see that the trench is flooded here. So he's going to leave and re-enter. It will continue to be flooded, and this will actually put him in the Swamp state, so now he can properly clear the dungeon and get the correct dungeon prize.
And Wulfy checking out the overworld locations here, which is good, which will give him his third sword, which really will help him out if he does check out the brewery, and afterwards hopefully actually goes in and does Thief's Town. Thief's Town has his last 2 needed items, and then we can go to Swamp Palace and Desert Palace, finish that off, and he will be done. Eventually. Osse is definitely ahead right now.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Wulfy does still have to clean up where are you going? Please don't dodge thieves down. Please don't dodge thieves down. Yeah, Wulfy does still have to clean up desert, as he said, so he is behind on dungeon completion, definitely. And it's interesting, like we're gonna see our GT climb as our last dungeon, actually.
Yeah, if you can manage to know that GT doesn't have any items in it that you can need right now, because key logic, if you do not have hookshot, key logic is a really good tell inside GT, because you need a lot of keys early on to do an exclusive right side into upstairs route. It's possible, but really, really unlikely. So finding out that the hookshot still looks the rest of GT really good.
Yeah, if you find like two small keys on the left side that are hookshot locked, you know for sure that your GT climb is not logical. So if you're in a hook state where you're like looking for hookshot, you're just like, don't climb GT for it in that case. But yeah, GT key logic is there are some quirks to it, but it's very, very important to pay attention to it if you're looking for items that actually lock locations in GT.
Yeah. It's not often that you can use this knowledge in no glitches, but in overworld glitches and major glitches, and here in hybrid major glitches, we can use this knowledge quite well if we know it.
All right, Osse's got 7 crystals. He's going to save and quit here and get up on the mountain, get up to GT. It'll be a really quick entry. You'll basically never see the crystal cutscene in overworld glitches or HMG. So we'll be in there in short order. And he's already got the big key. He can just go straight to the climb.
There's technically a way that you could have to do the crystal cutscene in low crystal glitch categories by coming from the Tortorok portal, but other than that, no, you are never going to see this as a cutscene in glitch modes.
Oh, we don't have the big key. Oh, he's in the torch. Okay.
He will find the glitch. He will find the
right
big key immediately. But
Basically,
him not
needs to
checking
pick
this
up-
shit.
Yeah. And then he needs to pick up a
We also
small
have to
key from the
get-
pot,
yeah.
and we're okay.
Yeah. Him not picking up this left side big key torch, kind of a bit of a bad thing technically, because, well, it could have been a thing, but it did not punish in the seat, so perfectly fine, and
No.
it saved some time, kinda.
All right, he's in the climb. Meanwhile, Wulfy is now in the basement of Thieves Town, right about to get his 2 items that he needs to actually be in go mode and go to swamp. So he's definitely behind, not like a super long amount behind, but this is definitely Osse's race here because he's on his last objective to climb GT and then go fight Ganon. Pendant Thieves, having both of our items for swamp. What a seed.
Especially while it was both Pendant Thieves and Pendant Squirrels. Extremely disincentivized from going ever to the left side of the main Dark World.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to see it.
Osse is so well equipped for this. This gauntlet is not a problem. He has all his swords, all his armor, both bows. Like, he's just very, very well equipped for this. This will be a very fast gauntlet.
Yeah. We really have a really safety-oriented build for energy here. So we even got to the kind of burner somehow.
Yep, we even got the powder in case we need to heal on the climb here. There are anti-fairs all over the place. Yeah, we'll be fine.
Yeah. Three bullets just in case. We got the net.
I'm not sure what Osse has in those bottles, but yeah, he does have them. I want to say, did he make a potion? No, Wulfy made the potion.
I think Osse has a green potion from one of the pickups. Otherwise, there's nothing in them.
There was a free green, you're right. So he does have, yeah, we shouldn't be worried about magic for the Ganon fight either. The boost, super speed Harapot being not so kind to either of these runners here today.
Yeah.
In
If you
Wulfy's
do
case,
have the
if you accidentally
Yeah.
like enter the door while you're doing this, you have to like then come back up and reset it and try it again. He gets it now.
Yeah, it's still better than having to actually reset and grab a diff and come back into Hera.
Yeah.
But you don't want to do either of these.
Let's do it. See the clip again. He's gonna do the buffered one frame inputs here instead of using the bomb to clip in. There's a kind of a runner preference. I think the one frames with the buffering tend to be more consistent than having to time the bomb.
Yeah, I personally prefer the bomb method, but it's really just do whatever you think works the best for you.
Yeah.
There are certain things that are just do what's consistent, and there are other things that are, well, the fastest method is basically the easiest anyway, so just learn that.
Exactly.
But, yeah.
For some runners, it's they might find they're better at doing the timing the dash into the bomb to get the clip, and some runners might find that they're bad at the timing, but they're actually really good at doing the one frame inputs. So yeah, whatever works for you, whatever's consistent and fast for you, just stick with that. I see a really nice Aga 2 fight. I think that was a 3 cycle actually. Those patterns were really nice. And he is gonna drop in and fight the Ganon. Wulfy at this point is now a swamp clear and a GT climb behind. Yeah, I think the and the desert clear still. Yeah, Osse having done desert later and actually having did he have fire? I forget if Osse had fire rod for his first trip to desert.
Yeah, he had.
Yeah, so that worked out in his favor because he didn't have to backtrack for desert.
Yeah, that's one of the many reasons that delaying Kakariko for a long time is so popular right now. You can more often than not just finish up the entire area, at least mostly, and that includes the desert area.
Yeah, Osse's routing in this one just kind of worked out well. Like they both executed really well. Like I don't think they made any like big execution mistakes. It's just that Osse's finding items when he did and having just a route that worked out better overall. So put him in the lead here.
Yeah, but I would not say that there was no execution difference. There definitely were like a few nicer boss fights on Osse's side, but the main thing was really more lucky routing.
Yeah, exactly. And that's rando for you. Sometimes you just find items in different order and you get a route that works out better because of it. And Osse is taken down again, and get your GGs in chat. We'll get you an official time in just a moment here once he is across the bridge.
And he finishes in 1:16 and 50 seconds.
Really quite a nice seed. Like again, this one was, aside from the two pendant thieves items, like this is really a kind seed. They got a lot of their inventory pretty quick. All the swords were easily available, and they just able to charge through the seed in short order.
We will see if Osse wants to join in for commentary, or I don't think they have the second press tomorrow. They have it scheduled for tomorrow. And hey, he's Osse.
Hey, GG.
So, really nice job of you, and a lot of somewhat lucky things, obviously, but I would still say that you did execute some of the bosses much better.
Yeah, this is really quite a nice seed. I'm getting a 116 in this, despite having cleared out Pendant Pot entirely. Yeah, really well done.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting, like the layout. I could beat almost all the crystals But then when I had another crystal to do, there was everything I hadn't cleared still open. So that
Yeah.
was one thing.
Like the layout of this one is just
Mhm.
like it gives you all these crystal dungeons you can clear, so you're really not incentivized to go to like Village of Outcasts at any point, having 2 pennant dungeons. It's like, when are you ever going to go to West Dark World? Until like you end up in, well, I've got 6 crystals, but I'm missing 2 items for Swamp. Where the heck are they? I guess it's time to go over there and start looking for stuff.
Yeah, like first Dark World trip, I was hoping to go up to either Thieves or Skull, but then they were both pendants, and that was awkward.
Yeah, it's always awkward when both of these are pendants because that area on the West Darkwood is so dense with items that is so unfortunate if you do not want to go there at all.
But then it's still a dense location, so you can sort of expect one of the items to be there. But then
Yeah.
it just happened that they were both there and next to each other even.
Yeah, we were definitely talking about other really horrible locations, but them being on the way to those horrible locations definitely was nice.
Yeah, worst spot would have been one of the places that I skipped.
Well, worst place would technically have been Palace just because he skipped out on the boss in Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, we're kind of worried about the green pendant, but that gamble worked out for you.
I was too, because we had early bow. We had like early pod items, so it seemed like
Yeah.
pod would have something.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hammer Bow Sphere 1 was kind of pointing at Pod,
Yeah.
yeah, but of course it just came up with nothing, absolutely, so go figure.
Yeah.
Green Pendant
Speaking of
Pod
early-
ignored the rule and did not have progression.
Yeah. Speaking of early Palace of Darkness, we did have Wulfy skip out for quite some time on Boo's Spectacle Rock for the hammer and Bonk Rocks for his first bow. Bonk Rocks was actually his second bow.
That's rare.
Yeah, he just managed to scoot past a couple times, yeah.
Yeah, and it just happens that both of these were actually pretty important items.
Wulfy has now cleared out Desert. He's got all 7 crystals. He's going to be getting up into GT as soon as he does the correct save and quit. He'll be up there in a moment here. And he's already got the small key because he did left side, so he can just go straight through the room and into the climb.
Yeah. If you start getting confused, it's sometimes better to just stop and go ahead and back to a state where you know everything's good instead of trying out and trying to find it out. Obviously, if you want to check out afterwards in practice hack what was going wrong, how would I navigate the situation afterwards, that's good, but in a race setting, not the best to check it out. And we do see Wulfy screw up the GT.
He pushed left. I saw it. I'm like, oh no. Yeah, if you push left instead of right there after the hop, you are stuck.
Yeah, it's just one of those things that are happening once you are inside the wall. In this game, and really many games, once you are inside the wall, the game will start pushing you out of that wall to a coordinate base of that wall. In this game, onto the next 8x8 grid. And if you press left, that will push you right, and if you press right, that will push you left. It just happens that you don't really want to get pushed to the right, so you need to press to the right, and that's really confusing.
Yeah, there's a certain instinct you have to develop for OWG in that if you want to get out of a wall, the instinct is you push away from the wall, like just go where you want to go. But no, the OWG instinct you have to develop is to push the opposite direction of where you logically would have to go, because you push up to get popped down out of a wall, for instance. So it's definitely a muscle memory thing you have to develop. It doesn't quite make sense to the brain, but you can train yourself to know which directions to push to get out of collision, to not get stuck.
Yeah. And we do see a really nice bike room so far, and this room is really hard to get through without any damage at all, so just taking one hit and still doing it fast, really good.
Yeah, it's super random unless you can somehow be like absolutely frame consistent every time.
Yeah. You want to have like memory for a few frames that you are able to hit generally consistently and then work based off that, but that's a lot of stuff to learn, and really just being able to do it well enough every time is great. We now do see the collection rate of 143.
43, not bad.
No, yeah. That's a pretty good collection rate, all things considered.
Yeah, considering we had our swamp items end up in a pennant dungeon. Yeah, it's really not bad. It could have been a
Yeah.
lot more. There's certainly a
Could have been.
So I guess actually a good question then for Osse here is if the items I hadn't come up in Thieves Town, what was your next play for trying to find them?
So I had a smith and hammer pegs on my mind, and then combine that with powder. And then I was also going to like check Skullwoods somehow. It wouldn't have worked with my route, so I don't know about that.
Yeah, not having the mirror is kind of annoying at that point.
Yeah, I still had Front of Escape with all those items.
Oh yeah, we never saw Front of Castle. Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about it like when you were going for the back of Escape that you probably would go to the front afterwards, and then you didn't, and we never saw it.
Yeah, we never saw Pyramid Fairy or Front of Castle, Uncle. Like those are all just hanging out.
Yeah, and Pyramid Fairy is a really awkward one, especially in Lichwood if you do not have the mirror, because you often forget, oh, dang, I should have marked those red crystals because I now have access to Pyramid Fairy.
Yeah, sometimes the mirror ends up in there or something, or the mirror's locked behind what's in there. Yeah, we never saw the mirror, so who knows? It could actually be in there for once. Ice Palace and Turtle Rock being our reds. It's yeah, entirely possible. All right, Wulfy, he is up to the Aga 2 fight. Let's see if he gets a really nice Aga fight like Osse did here. These patterns are really not bad. Nice triple, perfect.
Four hits now.
And they should be the last two here.
Cover.
Yeah, really not bad
nice.
Aga patterns. Nice 3 cycle.
Now we are heading into the gunfight. Slightly less equipped than Wulfy. He didn't decide to go and grab his gold sword in Path of Darkness, which is very understandable. What was really out of the way.
Yep, he did make the correct play of checking Village of Outcasts for 2 items, though. So he's lacking that sword, but again, tempered, really not bad. You can get an easy 1-1 cycle here.
Yeah, and considering we have the Acelvaros, tempered and gold sword fight are literally the exact same. Just that you do a few more spins in the first few phases instead of using slashes.
Yep, as long as you can execute the 1-1 for the first 2 phases, it's the same amount of time because you're still just waiting on those cycles.
I even practiced the tempered sword with gold. So I do it exactly the same.
Just for consistency, yeah, I like it. We are into phase 4. Oh no, silver. Yep, he did get the silver arrows. Good thing he checked bonk rocks at some point. Should get a nice double setup here. One last hit, and that'll do it.
You do it. Just in a few moments, we will have the time.
Yeah. Assuming he does not fall off the Bridge of Perils. And we're okay. Wulfy will finish with a time of 1:28.55. GG.
Definitely GG's. We will see that free platform in here as well, and we'll be able to talk about how he felt about the seed. And we are joined by Wulfy. GG's. Quite nice gunner fight at the end there.
Oh yeah. So good game. Pendant Thieves, huh?
Pendant
Yeah.
Thieves, yep.
Osse actually did quite a few checks as well before going there, so neither of you thought about that one till pretty late.
As soon as I checked my map and saw that it was Pendant Skull, Pendant Thieves, I knew I wasn't going to that area of the world for quite a while.
Exactly, yeah. Like,
Yeah.
you're not incentivized to go over there at all until you're like, oh, where the heck are my items for Swamp?
Yeah. You did, however, do something that Osse didn't do, and that was the left side of GT while you were there. What did you bring to that?
You mean why did I do it, or
Yeah. Just to have it cleared out?
I was still looking for multiple things, so I figured might as well.
Yeah. It couldn't have the hookshot, but I think you still were looking for flippers and bow at the time, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you were minus at least 3 at that point, yeah. Meanwhile, there was a bow sitting in a bonk rocks. We were just like, this is a bit silly. Walking past bonk rocks a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just eventually I looked at my map and was like, why is that still lit up?
Why
I
is it
guess
still
I'll go do
green?
that.
Yeah, luckily you didn't accidentally just click it off while you were in the CAC recovery. You did that properly. I definitely did it a few times.
I mean, the worst thing about that is just that it made my Vitreous fight slow. It didn't actually lead to me like orphaning anything because of the bow and ice.
Exactly. At the very least, you would have gotten bailed out by the icebreaker bow. So, like, even if you never looked at bonk rocks, you still had at least one available that was just on the path.
Yeah, we were also kind of worried about the Spectacle Rock Hammer, but you did check that out quite quickly. Either way, it just kind of slowed down your Moldon fight, otherwise perfectly fine.
Oh yeah. Just kill Moldorm with the fighter sword. 2 seconds later, there's the hammer.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. As I love you too. Any other thoughts about the seed? Or do you want to have us start heading out?
No, I don't have any other thoughts about it.
I like the seed. Had a good race. And GG Wulfy.
GG.
Let's see. I think you two are scheduled for game 2 on tomorrow, is it? Yeah. So looking at the schedule here. So if you want to see game 2 from these two, it will be on tomorrow, July 18th at 2 p.m. Eastern. We don't have a confirmed channel yet, but SpeedGaming has been very good to us about getting our HMG coverage, covering as many matches as possible. So keep an eye out for that. You can hit ! schedule in chat to check that out. And when it does get a channel, it'll end up on the grid. And we'll assuming we get a crew for it here, we'll be back tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern for game 2. And then if Wulfy brings it back to a game 3, we'll have game 3 immediately following that. So it could end up being a doubleheader tomorrow. So keep an eye out for that if you want to see more from these two.
Yeah, and definitely go follow these two. Wulfy and Osse boosted great a great run here today. And if you wanna go check them out a bit more, their links are in the chat, and definitely go check them out. Awesome runners, awesome people. And I also want to thank my co-commentator, Eloina, and it was a really fun time with you. And obviously our tracker, Trapto, awesome job on the buttons. Great work, and for me, that was it.
Yeah, thanks for jumping in last minute to do co-coms. It's been fun. I was kind of thinking, oh, it looks like I'm going to do solo com today, but then I do have a co-commentator. Well, that's cool. I don't have to be here by myself. So, yeah, this was a good time. It was a good race. Interesting seed. Opened up real fast, and a lot of items. Then it turned into, well, where the heck are the items? And hunt them down. One of them wasn't in swamp, so that's cool. I was kind of thinking like, man, if we've got like a like a hook shot in swamp, this is gonna be a silly seed. I think we'd still be going, but thankfully we didn't have a crazy long one. All right, I think that's gonna do it for us. So once again, SpeedGaming viewers, thank you for joining us. Hit the schedule if you want to see what else is coming up for Rando. Actually, let's just look real quick. Do we have more Rando today on the schedule? Doesn't look like it for any more. There's a lot of other games going, but I think we're done with LTTPR for today. So yeah, check it out tomorrow if you want to come back for some more HMG. We're going to try our best to get it on here. But until then, thank you all for watching. We will see you next time.